Right? All right. Hold on. Hold on for a minute here. I've got to get my Zander Roseman glasses on here. Don't forget our pregame and our postgame. And then Craig Carton will join us also at 5:30. Without further ado, one of the men that works for Bob Lang and is one of the great promoters of the Philadelphia Eagles as they head into tonight's Monday night game. It is the co-host of Birds 365, our friend Zander Krause. How you doing, brother?
I'm bobbing and weaving on the Sills hate on this game day, baby.
Hey, no, I got you winning here. I got you winning here, man. I mean, I got it 26-23. And if you want to take the points, go ahead. But I got the Eagles winning a close one, 26-23.
That's not a bad score. I like that. I mean, that's pretty close. I gave my score out this morning.
What was it, brother?
Mine was 28-17. I think that Falcons team is going to struggle to get points on the board. I don't think Kirk Cousins is the same guy. I'm not a Kirk Cousins hater like a lot of other people are. I think he's a good quarterback. He just doesn't look like the same. 36 years old, first big injury of his career. I don't think he's going to get it going tonight. And then I lessened. I thought the Eagles would be a 30-point team tonight, but without A.J. Brown, I think there's some learning curve here. I have 28-17 Birds. I think they get the win pretty handily tonight. But 28-17 was where I came in.
Boy, man, you really have a lot of faith in that defense tonight that got zero pressure. And if you think that
it's not even as much pressure in the defense. It's more about I don't think that Falcons offense is ready to do much of anything. I think it comes down to Kirk Cousins. And I rewatched the game tape from the Falcons in week 1. I mean, they got some players. They got
but they're going against one of the top 3 defenses in the league.
They got Bijan. I know they got some players. They have the potential to be good.
They played the top 3 defense last week in the Steelers, dude. I mean, the Steelers have a top 3 defense.
Yeah, I mean, look, top 3 defense or not, Kirk Cousins did not look the same last week. He
did
not move. And then there was some footage that came out of practice this week, with the Falcons. He's just not ready to move. And I think he makes so much of his, butters so much of his bread from moving around a little bit. He can't do it. So I think he's going to be a little bit of a statue in there. I think the D-line has to step up tonight. They know that the notice is on them. So, look, and the other thing that went into my score prediction is, Sills, look around the league, man. Look at the scores around the league right now in the first 2 weeks of the season. Look at the quarterback play.
Horrible.
The quarterback play as a whole has taken a step backward.
Even Mahomes, 2 picks.
2 picks, and he should have had a third pick.
Yep.
Everybody's turning the ball over. Everybody's sloppy. It really looks like preseason football right now, and that's kind of why I had them just scoring 17 tonight. I think our offense is high-powered. I have 28, and even that I'm wondering, maybe they might not get to the 28 number tonight, but 28-17, I feel good about my score. I felt good about it in week 1, and I was pretty close. So I think the Eagles win the ball game tonight.
How about this? Do you think they run the Philly just on the side tonight? Do you think they try to throw – No. Nick Foles night, I think that'll juice up the crowd too. It's the first home game of the 24 season. And Andrew, then you don't get another home game for a full month. So
until after the
last time Eagle fans are going to get a shot to get in the building in there and cheer their guys on. I mean, the schedulers were not kind to the Eagles in the first 2 months of the season.
No, you're right. But at the end of the day, look, I think that
it balances out.
It does. It balances out. That end of the schedule, I think, looks pretty favorable for the Eagles. So you can get hot going into the playoffs. That's a big thing. That week 3 game sells. All of a sudden, that Saints team is red hot right now.
Game after
and the Bucks. The Bucks are red hot as well. So good point. Look, there's a couple tough games in here. Here's the problem with putting too much hype on the Nick Foles thing. I'm jacked up for it. I love Nick Foles. If that Falcons offense comes out and scores a touchdown in their opening drive, ain't nobody going to give a fuck about the Nick Foles night anymore. They're going to be like, let's go, Eagles. I hear you, but that hype wears off quick if the game doesn't go to plan. Now, if they come out hot, they get on the board quick and they get a couple defensive stops, then that'll play into it for sure. But I don't like to put too much hype in that. Win the game, handle your business, Let Nick Foles get his ceremony. He earned it. I got news to the rest of the guys out there. Jalen Hurts, you haven't earned that ceremony yet. You should be focused on that. And I think they will be, but that's how I feel about it. So I'm excited for Nick. I think that's pretty cool, for Nick to retire as an Eagle. Obviously brought us
I think
our
it's
own.
great for the fans.
It's great for the fans, man. It's great. It's absolutely great for the fans. This is a passionate fan base, man. They deserve it. And Nick Foles brought him the ring, man. He brought us the ring. So, he got us the parade on Broad Street, that Jason Kelsey is so revered for with the speech and everything. So
I completely disagree.
It's going to be a great night for Nick Foles, but the rest of the team, don't get caught up in it. Go and handle your business tonight.
I completely disagree with John McMullen in this. I think you got to put that guy in the Eagle Hall of Fame. I think
John McMullen. I told John McMullen when he said that. He's dead wrong.
I think he belongs in the Eagle
body of work for a second. Forget, you need to be a 12-year. Forget that shit. That guy brought us the first Vince Lombardi trophy in franchise history. Come on, man. That means something.
And won that Minnesota game. Won that Minnesota game.
He did it versus Goliath. You did it versus Bill Belichick and Tom Brady as a backup quarterback. That's unbelievable. So, yeah, no doubt he deserves to be in the Eagles Hall of Fame.
Now, without A.J. Brown, Hurts is 59% completion percentage, 84.7 rating, and a QBR of 30. Without him in the starting lineup, is that a concern tonight? That's
absolutely somewhat of a concern. I don't think it's going to be, too big of a problem. I think they do have the weapons to handle losing A.J. Brown, but I mean, come on, you can't sit here and slice this up that it's a good thing. You lose arguably the best player on the team in A.J. Brown,
I think he is.
Who just absolutely took Jair Alexander to the woodshed last year, who's looked at as one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. This is a player that is a game-changing player. He makes up for mistakes on the field. That's how good he is. So to lose him is definitely a hit, but I do think the Eagles are equipped to handle it. I think it's going to be a big night for Saquon Barkley. So get your memberships in, everybody. I think we're giving away another Saquon Barkley jersey. We talked about Goddard a little bit this morning because – and you kind of misconstrued what I said about Devontae Smith. You said, Devontae's never done it as a one. When you lose A.J. Brown, right, everybody moves up one, right? Devontae's going to become the first option. Dallas Goedert's going to become the second option. Jahan Dotson's going to become the third option. I feel good about Devontae Smith being a wide receiver one as an individual. I'm not talking about team accolades, I feel
the playoff game, he had 150 yards.
Right. I feel good about the replacement for one tonight because I'm so confident in the player that Devontae Smith is. I don't feel too great on. I mean, look, I know people aren't going to like this. I don't feel great about Dallas Goedert. Every time he seems to have gotten a bigger role in this offense, which hasn't been much, he gets injured or something. He just doesn't. He hasn't lived up to what he should be, and some of that is because he's got AJ and Devontae in front of him. I get it, but that's my concern tonight a little bit. Is forget Dotson a little bit for a second. Can Dallas Goedert handle a 10 to 12 target load tonight? I don't know. We'll see if he can. Hopefully he can. He's obviously a talented tight end. I don't think talent has ever been Goddard's problem, but
it's holding up.
Yeah, holding up, and then just handling that bigger workload. And then Dotson, look, we sent a third-round pick for you, guy. This is your opportunity to prove that we didn't overpay there or we didn't, judge your talent wrong. He was a wide receiver too in Washington, remember. Now, they didn't have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts or they didn't have an offense like we do in our offensive line or any of those things, but he struggled mightily to be a wide receiver too in Washington. Am I sure that he's going to be able to fill those shoes tonight? No, I'm not. But, that's why we play the games. We're going to see how it plays out tonight. I think Saquon Barkley is going to be a big role tonight, man. I think they're going to rely on the running game more tonight than people are expecting. I think lower passing numbers for Jalen tonight. I think around 200 yards, 210, 220, somewhere in that range. I think Devontae Smith probably has a big night. But
if they do that, they win.
Well, if
you throw the ball a ton, you're going to lose.
And I don't think they're going to come into this throwing the ball a ton when you lose a guy like A.J. Brown. But
right.
Your point is well taken too, though.
You're right, Justo. Barkley, hey, can he hold? Can he hold up? I agree with you.
Sure, you're right, man.
What were you going to say,
I
Zander?
mean, what's that?
What were you going to say?
I lost my train of thought there, but I was going to wait. What was I about to say there? I was about to say,
About Barkley or about Devontae or about AJ not being.
Oh no, you brought up a good point about the playoff game when sometimes receivers will get 100 yards and they're inconsequential yards on the game. Like sometimes a receiver will get 100 yards and it's takeover yards that win you the football game.
AJ,
right? So Devontae had those inconsequential 150 yards in the playoff game. We barely hit a touchdown in that game.
I didn't even know he had that many yards.
We need to have a good offensive plan, and the defense needs to have a good night as well to make this full thing work and to get the win tonight. But Devontae just getting 100 yards doesn't mean you're going to win the ball game tonight. You got to do more than just get him the ball. It takes more than one. Obviously, it's a team game, so everybody's going to have to step up. They're going to have to move the sticks. They're going to have to keep that offense on the field as much as they can. And then on the defensive side, you got to pressure Kirk Cousins, man. You got to make him get rid of the football. Don't let him sit there and pick you apart. Get pressure on him. Make him get that ball out. If you do that, I don't think this is going to be that hard of a game. I really don't. I don't think this Falcons team is ready to compete with the best in the NFL. I think they have a good roster. I think they have good potential. I don't think they're ready to put it all down yet to compete with the best in the league.
So you're giving the Eagle front seven the benefit of the doubt that they're going to get pressure tonight because they were nowhere to be seen in game one.
Maybe that's a little bit John McMullen jaded, who's been telling me all week that he's giving him a mulligan for Corinthians Field and all that crap.
I don't think that's out of hand.
No, it's not. It's not crazy out of hand. But look, at the end of the day, it is the NFL, Sills. I mean, how many excuses? We can't give you that excuses. You're not paid $17 million to cry about the field. You're paid $17 million.
I'm not giving it a lot, but I'm giving it some.
Right, giving it some. So we'll see. If they can get some pressure tonight, though, I don't think Kirk Cousins can stand a chance to beat this defense. So we'll see. The no holes defense.
Oh, jeez, it's not that great thing. Hey,
shout out to the guys who sent me some graphics over the weekend. Forrest sent me some, M. Reyes and Abe. They all sent me some T-shirt design stills. I think you're going to like them. So I'm working on some stuff. I'll get back to all of you guys either today or tomorrow after the game.
Okay, hey, Prince. Prince tonight. Yeah, no, Hurts has to be the guy. Hurts has to be the guy, right?
Yeah. Look, Prince is right. You're right. And you brought up how you don't think the wide receiver room is good. I mean, shit, man. If any team in the league loses their number one wideout, they're not going to have a great wide receiver room. It's just how the NFL goes. There's not enough guys to go around. There's not enough guys to fit in your salary cap to have three great players. There are four. I mean, based on the way you frame it.
How I look at it is some of the great quarterbacks that are in the game today, you can lose wide receivers left and right. They lose Hollywood Brown and KC. It doesn't matter.
That's where Prince is right.
Stephon Diggs was lost, and they're 2-0 Buffalo still.
If you have an elite quarterback who plays like an elite quarterback, it's not an issue.
It's not an issue.
We need Jalen Hurts to be that elite quarterback tonight.
Yep.
Prove it again. Let's get back at there. Let's get back to Jalen Hurts' form and quit the turnovers, man. We got to get rid of those turnovers. You're going on 6 straight games, I think, going back to last year with an interception. I put the over-under at 0.5 on the interceptions for Hurts tonight, and John, he goes over. I'm like, oh shit! You don't think there's any correction.
More than 2?
No, more than 1. So I put it at 1. I put it at half. So an interception loses you the bet. But
okay, boss man, there you go. Go get him. I'm with you. There's no excuses.
That doesn't look any given Sunday still though, right? I mean, look, I get it, and we've been pretty good against Kirk Cousins in the past, but that doesn't mean you walk in here, asleep at the wheel. Let's go and handle
when you lose your best player in your offense.
Yeah, it's true.
There's no Watt, but Huff and pass rush must eat in right. They have to. Dude, just let me get to the other takes here. All right. So have you heard anything, Zander? Thank you, by the way. I appreciate the super chats, guys. Please hit the like button. Thank you. Have you heard anything on what they're going to do with Quinyon Mitchell and Isaiah Rodgers tonight?
I have not heard anything. I think John's right, though. I mean, look, there's rumblings. Cooper DeJean is getting closer to ready, and with the heavy run game tonight that we're expecting from Atlanta with Bijan Robinson, he's good in that run blitz. So maybe Cooper DeJean gets more time tonight. I think it should be a split here. Cooper out there.
You're going to put a guy on the field against a pro.
So you don't draft a corner, though, at 22 overall, who's already proven through 1 week.
I'm just talking about reps.
He has the potential to be a great outside corner, and then you move him inside for a guy who hasn't played football in a year and a half. And when he did in Indianapolis, he was soft. He was soft. He was not a good tackler. He's not physical. He's not he's a good coverage guy. I don't think they're going to move Quinyon Mitchell to the slot to get Isaiah Rodgers in the field. I just don't think they're going to do it. I don't think it. Look, the other thing that factors into my
but the matchup favors him against their two best players, not Drake London.
Dude,
Drake London is not
Isaiah Rodgers is a better matchup for Drake London.
No, I think Quinyon in the slot against Kyle and Bijan is a better matchup.
Well, that you could argue, but Drake London's going to pick on Isaiah.
Dude,
Rodgers.
I'll put Keely Ringo out there on Drake London, and I'm good with it.
Well, Keely Ringo's, but he's not going to get the time. It's not going to be Keely Ringo. It would be Isaiah Rodgers, who's not big and not physical. And you're telling me 6'4" Drake London.
Do you think they're going to try to get the ball to him, or do you think they're going to try to get the ball to Bijan, like you said in progression a couple minutes ago? And Nick even said it too at his press conference. The offense goes through AJ, Devontae, Dallas, and Saquon. Well, in Atlanta, the offense goes through Bijan, Kyle, and Drake. Why would I put Quinyon on the third best guy when I get him on the best guy or the two best guys? Doesn't it make more sense to put my more talented guy on the best threat that Atlanta has?
Well, it does make sense from that standpoint, but I don't think it's that simple. I mean, what are you going to – so you're saying you'd rather have Quinyon in the slot so he can match up with Kyle Pitts. And then who are you going to have on Drake London then? I guess Slay?
Slay.
Yeah.
I might, you know what I might even do, Xander? I might flip him wherever he goes, and I might do a little bit of that as well and have him and Slay go on the other side and keep my lesser guy on the weak side and move Slay back and forth. Because to me, dude, that slot position, Gardner Johnson and Avonte Maddox, and putting Avonte Maddox and CJ and Cooper DeJean versus those two guys, I think Atlanta has the advantage there. Avonte's not – he was terrible in game one. CJ was 50-50. And a guy who's only played against Northwestern in a preseason game for a couple reps against Minnesota, I don't know if I feel comfortable dropping him into a Monday Night Football game.
You're right.
Versus Bijan Robinson without at least getting him acclimated to the game. I mean –
You think – let me ask you this. You think Vic Fangio could go to big nickel a lot tonight?
Yes.
Get an extra D back on the field.
Absolutely.
A hybrid. Here's my worry with the big nickel.
But that has to mean you're stopping the run.
Exactly. That's where I was going next. That's got to mean your front four are playing lights out. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, they all got to show up tonight. And Milton when he gets rotated in. If those guys get pressure and you can play big nickel, I don't think you're going to have a problem with Drake or Kyle Pitts. I really don't, because then you're going to have valuable enough. You're going to be able to double up the guy that you're weak on, and have two bodies on him. I think the big nickel could suit you well tonight, but you do worry about Bijan Robinson. If it looks anything like the second half did last week in terms of run defense, Bijan Robinson is going to have a field day. So,
do you think Jalen runs a lot tonight?
I appreciate the super chat, man, but I don't think he should, but he might. I mean, shoot, I think it's going to be a game-by-game basis on that. And I don't want to put a ceiling or a limit on what Jalen should do. And I understand
carries in week one.
I understand why people do. I understand why you do it, Steels. I understand even why sometimes I say that's not sustainable for our starting quarterback. But at the end of the day, Hurts is going to do what he wants to do in any given moment of a game to try and win that set game. So some games, it might mean he runs the ball 3 or 4 times because everything else is working and he doesn't have to. But if winning the game tonight or getting a first down tonight or whatever situation it is requires him to run the ball, he's going to run the ball. Now, maybe that amounts to too many runs and we're upset with that, but I think he's going to continue to do what he needs to do to win a game depending on the flow of each game, right? I mean, each game has its own identity. Each game is different. So I try not to put a limit or a number on it because, one game it could be 3 or 4 and the other game it could be 15 because, he needed to get the first down and continue the drive so he can win a ball game. I try not to put a limit on it from that regard, but I do understand the concern where, you're paying the guy $50+ million. your season is going to go as far as he's going to take you. So if you're going to run him 14 times and he gets hurt, shit, man, you might as well kiss your season goodbye. So I get it from that perspective, but can't legislate injury. Let's let it play out. Hurts has to be a smart runner. If he's going to run smart. We need you for the next play, not only that play. So be a smart runner, and we'll be in good shape at that.
Let me tell you this tonight. Tonight is my due date for rent with Jordan Davis and with Jalen Carter.
I think it's fair.
You have sucked for about 12 games against the run. This has got to stop, man. You're the 9th and the 13th pick. Do your job tonight, because I think this game, like you said, this game comes down. What's the number one thing that you thought in that Steeler game? If you go back and watch, Cam Hayward pushing that pocket back.
Yeah.
I talked to Clint Hurt about this. You know what?
They
pushed that pocket back. How many times was he thrown with 3 dudes around him? And here's Watt coming around the perimeter and getting him on the ground.
Yeah.
Even if you're not getting there, I told Clint, I go, get their hands up. He's 6'6". Make it hard for him to see across the middle of the field, because that's your dead zone, is the middle of the field. And he goes, I know, we got to get pressure. They've got to push that pocket back, man. They have totally got to push that pocket back.
You're absolutely
Smith and Bryce Huff have to play. I'm not saying like TJ, but they got to be a form of that.
No, you're right. There's no doubt. I mean, look, that defensive line, if they don't create pressure tonight, I don't think it's going to be a good night. I mean, look, you're talking about a team that, we lose A.J. Brown. Our defense was, a little suspect in the run in week 1. If they can't get pressure on the front, Kirk Cousins might be able to pick us apart, even if he is a statue. So you're right. I mean, what you said is spot on. And by the way, if those two guys are able to do that, Jordan and Jalen Carter in the middle, I think Bryce Huff has a night if they're able to do that. Because, if you watch that game tape, especially of that week 1 game, and I ran it back several times just because I was watching different things each time. Bryce Huff did beat his man to the spot a couple of times, where if he was able to put his foot in the ground and turn, he might have gotten there. But there was one, there's a couple plays where he got it and boom, the feet slip out. And then you could see he lost confidence. Instead of hitting that turn hard and cutting under and going, he was almost taking it more upright because he didn't want to let his feet get out from under him. So he was going slower. He was taking it a different angle. So if they could get that pressure up the middle and Bryce Huff can get to that spot early, the field's not going to be an issue tonight. I think Bryce Huff could get home a couple times tonight.
And I do think Achilles is a factor for him. How about this, boss man? It may not actually be an injury factor, but it's a mental factor. Because sometimes when you come back from injury, you're still not sold it's solid.
And here's the other factor, too.
You're watching a little of that with Aaron Rodgers. When Aaron Rodgers is in the pocket with the Jets, you could see that a little bit with him and him not being completely comfortable on his feet, too. So that's where I say get that internal pressure on Cousins, because that could be a factor in tonight's game.
Remember, here's the other thing with Kirk Cousins. And, boss man, appreciate the super. I think you're spot on with is it a factor? It definitely is. Kirk Cousins in his career has never had a big injury. He's never missed significant time like this where he needed to go, under the knife and get a big surgery. This is new to him in a way. He never missed games in his career like this. So he gets a massive injury. He's coming back for the first time. He doesn't look. When I was in college, I had a massive ankle surgery. I had what's called osteomyelitis in my ankle, which is a bone infection. I got home from Christmas break. My mom takes a look at my ankle. She's like, son, you need to go to the emergency room because I've been walking. I don't care. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with my ankle. It just hurts. It's all black and blue. But you get off that surgery that first time and you're like, whoa, it feels different, So it's his first big injury, coming out of that. I think even if the ankle is fine, even if the Achilles is fine or whatever it was he had, he might not be comfortable. He might not be confident, and then boss man brings it up again. He's 36. That's tough sledding to get back to form that quickly after a big injury like that. So, we'll see what he's able to do, but I do think you got to, if he's a statue in there, you got to get pressure on him, make him get rid of the football.
Zach Bond. I'm sorry, man. If this guy has
Zach Bond, baby.
Hey, I don't know, man. You are you expecting him to have How about this? I'm not even going to go the Green Bay game. Are you expecting him to be in the room of that Green Bay game where he continues his improvement?
Look, I keep saying I watched that
because
tape.
I'll get on my knees for Howie if I see a 10-plus tackle game. I'm going to walk around on my Howie Rosemans, my knee pads, if that guy does that tonight, because that'll be the find of the decade.
Look, I watched that tape, man. That dude was everywhere.
He was.
He was all over the field in that
was.
one game, man. He really was. So, look, if he can do half of that, if he can be that player to some extent, I mean, I think you got a linebacker that exceeds what we expected coming into the season, which is big thing for us because, I mean, look, coming into the year, we were like, well, this linebacking core might be bottom of the league again. If Zach Bond plays like that or 60% of that every week, we're not going to be a bottom of the line linebacking core, and that will make the defense better. I mean, look, Vic Fangio's system in a way relies on good linebacker play, and when linebackers play good, the whole defense is going to play good. So tonight is a good chance for everybody to get to get going. If Zach Bond can be that again, and that defensive line can get some pressure, I do think, the defense is going to look a lot better tonight.
How about this? You think the key could be this? Who has the better game, Barkley or Bijan? If one of those guys has like a superstar game, is that the outcome? Because in my opinion, I think Barkley's the key tonight for the success of the team. I don't think Devontae is. I think running the football is, and I think just being proficient in the passing game. But dude, A.J. Brown was a great football player in that Green Bay game, but won you the game was Barkley.
Yeah, but here's the difference.
Just like Kamara. Kamara was the factor in that same game.
Yeah, you're right. But that Atlanta offense is going to rely, I think, a lot more on Bijan. When you talk about Saquon, he was an addition to an already great offense.
If Saquon Barkley's not on the field for the Eagles in that Green Bay game, you lose.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had 3 touchdowns, so it's easy to say that now. Shit, man.
Well, no. Well, that's why I say these two guys are integral parts in what they're going to do. Look, who's Devin White? He's Snow White. He's Betty White. Nobody cares about him anymore. He's done. Goodbye. I don't want to talk about a guy who quits on his team and on himself. Okay? We talk about winners here. That's what JAKIB Sports is. Devin White is a turd. Please, Zander. We're not wasting our time.
Sean, I had 28-17. I got you, brother. By 10 plus. He says 10 at least.
Devin White is like Jay Brown. He's a turd. Okay.
Oh, you're piling on Jay Brown. Jay Brown had my back. He had my back every day in the chat. Last week I took a chirp at him, and he's been holding it again. Now he's chirping me in the chat. It's all right, Jay Brown. I love you, brother. No worries, man.
Don't worry about him. Go ahead, man.
No, look, I think tonight's a big, Saquon Barkley's going to be a big role tonight. I think you're right about that, but I think it's going to be more relying on the run, maybe early and often to set up the pass a little bit. You don't have A.J. Brown, so you can't just come in and start, tossing. A.J. Brown, the thing about A.J. Brown is he masks a lot of mistakes. He makes you look better.
What is yards after catch?
And just sometimes you can just say, toss it up to him and he's going to go get it. Or even last week, when he broke up the interception, again, that Jalen Hurts almost threw. He became a defensive back in a split second, so you're not going to have that as much, which is why I think Barkley, it's going to be more traditional tonight. Let Barkley run the ball, set up some play action, set up, the passing game by running the ball effectively early and often, and that'll open things up for Devontae Smith, for Dallas Goedert, and even for Jahan Dotson.
Here's the one thing I'll say to you about Jahan Dotson tonight, okay? He was a bust in D.C.
I got a feeling he's on the milk carton tomorrow.
Hold on. Now, wait a minute. He has an opportunity tonight to do this personally and career-wise. Okay, you could make the argument. Let's do both sides of it here, okay? You could make the argument. They threw to one guy. He was a CeeDee Lamb, and that was Terry McLaurin. Okay, but you also have to look at the quarterbacks they had. Very inconsistent guys. As many yards as Sam Howell threw, he did throw for like 28 interceptions also a year ago. So you could make that argument. He didn't have a lot of good quarterback play, was inconsistent. Yeah, Daniel Snyder. The whole fucking thing was a train wreck. Yeah. He's the 16th pick in the draft. Now, you come to Philly, and here's an opportunity. Brown's out. Remember what AJ and everybody said, that Dotson's going to have an opportunity here There's going to be a time where his opportunity is going to come. Well, here it is. You come in there and you give them 5 catches tonight for about 70, 80 yards. You're going to get yourself back in a conversation where people around the league are going to go like this. Well, it was DC. Because isn't that what they said about Reddick?
Yeah.
They went like this about Reddick. Why are you on 3 different teams and 3 different teams blow you out and they don't re-sign you? Well, it was Carolina and Arizona. Okay, so now you're looking at Reddick as being a premier pass rush guy, and he's holding teams hostage or a team hostage right now. So you're looking at Reddick in a different light. Reddick changed the narrative on himself. He's a premier pass rusher. Okay, Dotson can do the same thing tonight by changing a narrative or begin that process of changing that, because you're either going to be Quez Watkins or you're going to be a guy, the 16th pick in the draft.
Yeah,
that starts tonight.
And he's going to get paid somewhere if he's able to do that. And it's not going to be this year; it'll be after next year. But
that's right.
It's not going to be in Philly. But this is my fear.
Quez Dotson.
This is my fear, and you brought it up there. Joe Whip brings it up in the chat. Appreciate you, Joe Whip. I don't know, man. Look, he was the number 2. I know Sam Howell stinks. I get it. I get it. The whole thing in Washington is a train wreck. I get it. He had a couple years, though, to be the number 2 option as the 16th overall pick. He is given every opportunity to be a competent wide receiver. I don't look, I know Sam Howell stunk, but just for the sake of the argument.
He did have like $4,000 or some shit. I don't know.
He threw for 39-46 last year and 21 touchdowns. That's about what Jalen Hurts threw for less yards than that last year. And you had a 1,500-yard wideout in AJ and a 1,000-yard wideout in Devontae. Jahan Dotson has not done shit in the league. So do I hope he can live up to it? Yes. Am I relying on him, though, tonight? No. I'm going to Devontae Smith, I'm going to Dallas Goedert, and I'm going to Saquon Barkley. I don't want to hear Jahan Dotson needs to be this big impact player. If you're relying on him to win the game tonight, I think it's a losing formula. I think you lose the game. You said it in the open, Sills. Go to the money. Yeah. Dallas Goedert's making $15 million. Saquon Barkley's making $12 million. Right. Devontae Smith's making. Go to the money. Forget Jahan Dotson. I know we need him. All right, he's there as the wide receiver too. You go to your other options, run the offense through them.
Let me. I got 2 more for you here, Zander, but I want to make sure we get this in here too. Hey guys, don't forget BetUS, man. This is our betting home. We are teamed up with BetUS here at JAKIB Sports. We're so proud to be able to bring this to you, especially on a game like tonight, Monday Night Football, Falcons and Eagles. Great opportunity for you to be involved with this. 150% bonuses on your first 3 deposits of up to $2K plus 200% in crypto bonuses, all set up for you. Please go to betus.com.pa. Make sure you make your bets here. Fastest payouts, live wagering on all major games. If you want your own personalized accountant, they will set you up there with that. Make sure you go betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Couple more here for you, Zander. Kellen Moore tonight. That's going to be pretty interesting tonight to see how he overcomes the loss of A.J. Brown tonight, because he's also going to have to work with not having that personnel out there too, because John said something really smart this morning. He says a ton of things that are smart, but he's right. You get your installment game plan on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's when you get your game plan. Yep. You get it, your tablet, you got it all set up. Dude, when you get that on a Saturday, the news that one of your key components
Sunday.
Okay, you're talking 24 hours to the game. You've got to reevaluate your entire game plan. And this is going to be interesting to see how Jalen and both Kellen adapt to this for tonight, because that's not that easy to do that, because you had a whole week of installments and all of a sudden that's out the window now. That's like basically it's almost like an in-game adjustment on a Sunday getting ready for tonight's game.
No doubt. Look, and here's the thing I'll say about Kellen Moore. It's one thing to be a great offensive coordinator when you got $180 million of offensive assets in your portfolio. When you lose A.J. Brown on a whim at the last second, and now you got to draw up a new game plan, you got to get a guy like Dotson involved. You got to get Goddard more involved. You got to draw up different plays for Saquon. Now you're using your intelligence. Tonight's going to be a great test to see how good is Kellen Moore. Because look, the reality is, if you're in the NFL world, and I'm not, I'm just saying if you're a coach or, you're somebody in that world, you could look at this offense and be like, yeah, they were the number 5 ranked offense in the league, but look at their personnel. And you might not give that much credit to Kellen Moore. Tonight's where he could, earn his money in a way, where you show how good you are of an offensive mind. On a quick turnaround, you produce a great offense with A.J. Brown out. Could be a night that Kellen Moore shows how creative he is with different route combinations, with different, looks for Goddard, with different looks for, Jahan Dotson. We'll see. But I do think you're right. It's going to be, the pressure's on him tonight. I would imagine he didn't get much sleep last night after learning that A.J. Brown is down. But he probably had a couple nights. Remember, A.J. went down on Friday, didn't practice on Friday. He said he had tightness in the hamstring on Friday, didn't practice Saturday, was announced Sunday he was going to miss the game. Something tells me they probably Friday. Hey, man, A.J. Brown's not looking good. Start to get the game plan ready if we don't have A.J. So, I do think he had a couple nights, but definitely going to test him tonight, man. How good of an offensive mind are you when you lose your top weapon like this? And he's not going to bail you out of every bad situation anymore. So it's going to come down to Kellen Moore tonight, big time, and Jalen Hurts. I mean, look, we can talk about everything in the world. We could talk about this. We could talk about that. We talk about Barkley, Goddard, Dotson, defense. It's on Jalen Hurts tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
You said it. You said it. If you're Patrick Mahomes, you can lose Tyreek Hill and still put up a Super Bowl. If you're Joe Burrow, maybe not right now, but Joe Burrow, you lose a wide receiver 1, you're still a great player. You're Josh Allen, you lose wide receivers, you still play great. You're Jalen Hurts, you got to be able to lose A.J. Brown and still put together a great offensive night. That's the reality. When you're making $50+ million, you got to be elite. Tonight's his chance to go and be elite. If he's elite tonight, Sills, this conversation doesn't matter. We're gonna smoke this team. It all comes down to Jalen Hurts, like it always does.
And I will say this too: you create a lot of confidence in that building. If that guy goes out there and wins a game and they win it comfortably without A.J. Brown tonight, you send a vibe in that building here. I want to get to Jason here. I think Bijan will get his yards, but defense will make some stops to win the game. Also, Barkley and Goddard have to be the focus of the offense tonight. Jason, the reason that I agree with you, I think it's got a lot to do with the middle of the field, because I think that's the weakest part of the Eagle defense. It's the middle of their defense. It just so happens that that's the weakest part of both sides of the ball. He's throwing across the middle of the field and also defending it. I just, to me, it's what those linebackers are going to do. I don't think they have good cover linebackers. That's why I'm saying put Quinyon in the slot there to go against the better personnel that Atlanta has. Me putting him, look, Avante, and like I said earlier, Zander, Avante and CJ versus those other guys, I think that's an advantage to Atlanta. I mean, I think that's advantage Atlanta, not Philadelphia. You put Quinyon in there, I think you stalemate that, and I think you end up getting that. I think you get the win there with that. I got to ask you something else here.
Yeah,
here. By the way, thank you, Ron. I appreciate you.
Ron, appreciate it, man. Thank you for supporting our channel. Love you, brother. Welcome to the membership. You're now entered into the giveaway for Saquon Barkley. 125 tonight, Sills. Let's go. Let's go, Barkley.
How about this? I'm watching that Bears game last night, and I'm going, you paid a guy $9 million, and you don't give DeAndre Swift the ball like ever? He's got 48 yards in 2 weeks. I mean, dude, I understand you want to get Caleb Williams going, but at what expense? Why in the world would you? I mean, look at this. Look at what the Eagles did in the first week. You gave that guy $8 million. Well, he earned his dough in that first week, Barkley. That guy earned that money in the first week. Swift's got 48 yards rushing. I mean, dude, look at the last 2 running backs that Philly's had. Miles Sanders had 1,300 yards. The next year he leaves. You have had 2 Pro Bowl running backs because of that offense and that offensive line. Hey, that to me, that's another, for me, you've got to get that back going, because when you get that back going, they're a physical football team. If they sit back there and they throw the ball 30, 40 times, you make that game closer, that you don't have to make that game closer.
No, you're 100% right, Sills. 100%. No, you're spot on tonight. So, look, Kellen Moore's got to have the right game plan tonight. Hurts got to step up. Everybody's got to step up. I mean, look, that's the reality. You lose A.J. Brown, guess what? I don't care who you are. If you're on that field tonight as an offensive player, and that goes to the offensive lineman as well, Everybody has to play one step better tonight than they were going to without AJ. You want to win the game? Next man up. That's Philly. That's our mentality. You're celebrating Nick Foles tonight, for crying out loud. The ultimate next man up. Everybody steps up. This team handles business easy money.
Finally here, the one player tonight that you think will get the game ball tonight.
I'm going to go Jalen Hurts. I think no interceptions tonight. I think he manages the offense flawlessly after a shaky start to the year. I think he distributes the ball well. I think he uses the right people in the passing games at the right moments. I think he gets Dallas Goedert involved. Most importantly, clean operation, no turnovers, and he might have a rushing touchdown to help steal the game and a big moment when nothing else is working. So I got Jalen Hurts to be the MVP of the night.
I got Jalen Carter tonight.
Great one.
Stopping the run tonight wins that. Here, stop. You know what's funny? 1920 National Football League started. Run the ball, stop the run. Nothing's really changed. Okay? Look at Dallas. They got fucking ran over by the Saints. I mean, literally, hey, next time you see John McMullen, you make sure you tell him Big Sills. You make sure you tell him Big Sills is coming for him with that bullshit Micah Parsons take. Because you know why? He got ran over. I mean, on his back. They ran him over. Kamara was not touched in that game. Dude, I know that he shows flashes of being sensational, but when you play against, and get this, you guys were beat a year ago by Dallas and the Niners. The Cowboys got crushed by Arizona and now the Saints. We're not talking about world beaters here and teams that are fighting for a division and a conference title. We're talking about, I don't know, Dennis Allen Saints?
Yeah.
In Arizona, Jonathan Gannon's Cardinals? Dude, come on now.
Jonathan Gannon's team's looking pretty good, Sills.
Boy, that kid, Kyler Murray, yesterday, that wasn't the Kyler Murray that I've seen over the time.
It wasn't. Perfect passer rating, throwing the ball, running around. He was amazing yesterday. So that whole team was really, really a special team yesterday. How about by the way, Big Sills, we got to talk about it. Big Sills, we got to talk about it. The Dallas Cowboys get destroyed. Wait, normally, Sills, the Cowboys are winning the September Super Bowl. That's no. The Cowboys they're not even winning the September Super Bowl this year. They just got thrashed by, as you pointed out, the Dennis Allen Saints. That was a joy to watch. When the Eagles don't play on Sunday and the Dallas Cowboys get absolutely throttled, it's a good day in Eagle Nation, baby. It's a good day in Eagle Nation.
I thought they put an APB out on for a murder charge by the Saints on the Cowboys front seven.
Oh, my God.
Hey, honest to God, I mean, you could have made an argument that the Saints are wanted for murder of killing the defensive front seven of the Cowboys because –
oh, my Lord. You know what the funniest part about it is?
14 possessions the Saints have. They scored on all of them so far this year.
I think Derek Carr threw the ball 11 times. If I'm not mistaken, he threw the ball. Let me look.
No, he had to throw the ball 20 times. It seemed like
you're going to laugh at this, dude. I'm telling you, you're going to laugh at this.
It seemed like he threw the ball 100 times in that game.
Derek Carr was 11 for 16 with 243 and 2 touchdowns. 11 for 16. He put up
11 completions, got him 250 yards.
243 yards. Yep. 11 completions. Now, Alvin Kamara had 20 carries for 115 and 3 tutties, mind you. But
180 total offense, I heard.
Yeah,
too.
I know. He was in the passing game, too. So that was a great.
Hey, how about that Buck team, dude? 10-3 since December 3rd of last year.
Don't sleep on that Buck team. And don't sleep on Baker Mayfield. That's a new man. Did you catch his on-field interview after that game? Yep. They're like, they're throwing shots at you, and he's like, doesn't even bring up himself. This is a team game. I'm proud of my team. All I'm saying is, I mean, look, I get it's a political answer, but that's a new man, right? You're talking about the guy in college that stamps the flag, and I loved it. I didn't dislike Baker.
I didn't mind that.
I didn't either. But I'm saying he's a more mature man, and he learned from what went wrong in his NFL career. I think he could be in Tampa for a few years here. He could go on a run in Tampa, and if he plays, contained, I think they could be a pretty good team, man. That one
Over
touchdown
for Brady too. Remember that
to Chris Godwin yesterday. Boom, he
Yeah.
drops, pump fakes, boom. I was like, that was beautiful. That was a thing of beauty to watch. So Baker Mayfield's red hot, Derek Carr's red hot, and by the way, those are our next two opponents: is the Saints and the Bucs. So the Eagles got to get going tonight. You know what we thought were going to be 2 wins versus Saints and the Bucs. I still think they're going to be wins, but you got to play well. These aren't walk in the parks. These are 2 teams that are playing well. By the way, New Orleans did that in Dallas. Dallas didn't lose a game at home till the playoffs last year when they got destroyed by Green Bay. That's impressive that they went into Jerry's world in front of Jerry, sitting in his box like he always is, and absolutely ripped that team open. Ripped them open.
Zander, finally here, he just gave me, folks, massive content. In the last 20 games, Baker Mayfield has outplayed Jalen Hurts. Holy cow. I never thought about that, but he has. He's outplayed him.
That's a shitty topic, dude.
And he's got a win over him, and he's 1-1 versus him in the last 20 games. Wow. What a great take, Zander. I didn't realize that since he's been in Tampa. By the way, you know what? The Rams may go the other way. The Bucs may fill that Rams hole right now, is what I'm saying. You actually, in a way.
Pause.
Okay.
That's a pause, everybody. I need to get a pause in the chat for Sileo there. Look, Sills doesn't understand what I'm talking about. That was a pause, no diddy from Sills. You guys hit me with that all the time.
20 games. Baker Mayfield's outplayed him. Amazing. It works both ways. Atlanta was founded out by Brown, is out. Atlanta have been game planning AJ. So, okay. Yeah. So now they have to adjust as well. Hopefully more is better. But hey, Fat Face or Fat Mac Philly or whatever the fuck you're called. Fuck
Fat Mac, Philly. I love you, brother.
Hey,
wait, Sills, before I go, I got something I want to play with you from Bet US. All right. It's going fun. I want everybody in the chat to contribute as well. I'm going to bring this up. This is the numbers tonight, the over-unders on Jalen Hurts' number. And then I also have Devontae and Saquon, I believe.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's play this now first with Jalen Hurts. Everybody in the chat, Stills, hit me with that first one, brother. You want to hit me with it? Or you want me to hit it?
I think he's under the 226.
Okay, so the passing yards are over
because of AJ not being there. I think he's probably around 208, somewhere in there.
I'm telling you, I had a good read because Bet US put up a post earlier. They're giving away an old 1960s Ford Mustang. If you know me, you know I like Mustangs. And yeah, if you guessed the exact number for Jalen Hurts' passing yards tonight,
208.
You're gonna win. I guessed 224 before I saw this. So I'm like, I'm right at the number 224 on 226 tonight. I'm going under. I'm going slightly under. I think it's going to be more of a running game tonight, but I like that number. That's a pretty good number. What does everybody have in the chat? I see some under completions, over passing touchdowns. We'll get to them. Sills, passing completions over under 20.5.
Under 17 he has.
Okay, that's not bad.
Like 23 or 17.
17 and 23, but got it. That works. And then passing TDs over under 1.5.
I think he gets one to Barkley and one to Devontae or Goddard. So I say
over.
2.
Yeah, I'm going to say over on that. I think Hurts throws multiple touchdowns. I actually think he could throw 3 touchdowns tonight. I think Barkley could help you between the 20s.
I think he could have 3.
And they might get down to the red zone and Hurts takes over and has a couple touchdowns tonight through the air. So I'm going under. I'm going under on the completions as well. I think it's going to be I thought Sills' number was perfect, right around 17 completions. And then I'm going to go over on the passing touchdowns. And then we'll go to the next graphic, Sills. We'll have running back, wide receiver duos. You have Saquon on your left there, Devontae Smith on your right. Saquon rushing yards over under 78.5. Over for sure for me as well.
I got him over 100.
Yeah, I do too tonight. I think it's a big running game. I think put it this way. I think I'm ordering another Saquon Barkley jersey to give away to one channel member this week. Okay. So I'm going over on Saquon. And then Devontae Smith sells over under 75.5.
Over. I think he's 115 catches, 115 yards tonight.
Okay, so you got over on the running back, wide receiver props. I like it. Good stuff there. What does everybody have in the chat? We got some over, under 78.5. So you have under on the Saquon MG, Smith over for Mr. Perez. Akbar says Jalen not thrown over 200 yards tonight. Akbar is down. Smith, Sills, you got my man Akbar way down on Jalen Hurts. Shout out to BetUS though. Thank you for those great graphics on the over-unders. Make sure everybody goes over and puts their bets in.
Akbar's coming around to having some common sense in his head instead of 4,800 yards and 37 touchdowns like Zander has with those green glasses and 17-3 or whatever the hell he has.
MVP.
Where are we on the like list, my friend?
Let me check for you, brother.
Hey, guys, don't forget.
238 likes. We got 680 plus watching on YouTube. Another few hundred on our other platforms. JAKIB Nation is showing up today. Appreciate all of you guys in the chat.
Don't forget also our pregame show. What is it, 7 o'clock Eastern? We're going to
7 p.m. tonight. Pregame will be live with Sileo and I, and then we'll get John McMullen on live from Lincoln Financial Field. He will be down at the stadium. So should be a good pregame show tonight. And then as well, postgame, baby. Instant reaction with Sills, myself, and John McMullen. Going to be a great show tonight on postgame Sills. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. Long day. Eagles season is here. I'm back up in the morning on Birds 365. I'm high on Eagles football, Big Sills.
26-23. I have, and I saw you post something. Me and John are right in the same room. I didn't know that what John had said.
I'm going to update it once I get your prediction.
Yeah, I got 26-23.
Yeah.
Eagles will win the game, but I think this bad puppy is going to be a close one. Now, if you want to go to BetUS and take the number, I think you'd be cool to take the number in Atlanta because right now it was 6. It's now 5.5. I think you're still getting there.
If you've been listening to Sills for the last 4 years, if that's not the most classic Sills thing, riding both sides of the fence.
No.
To win, but if you want to bet the Falcons on the money,
all I'm saying to you was Big Sill said it last week. If you got 25 or more carries, you win the ball game. If you don't, you lose it. And what happened? Hey, nothing to do with Hurts tonight. It's again to do with Barkley because you know why? Your guy's mediocre. The guy in the building is Barkley. Barkley, baby. Barkley season. He's going to be an MVP candidate now that Christian McCaffrey's out a month. Hey, dude, if he puts another 125 yards up tonight, you're going to put him in a – I'll tell you what. John Mara will have a heart attack tonight if Barkley puts another 125 and 3 burgers up tonight. He'll have a heart attack.
SOS for John Mara. Is he okay? Is he alive? Is he okay if Barkley goes off tonight? Look, I put my prediction out on Birds 365, 28-17. I don't think that Atlanta offense is going to be clicking enough with Kirk yet to put up a lot of points tonight. So 17 for them. I think it's a measly 17, by the way. A couple field goals in there. Nothing pretty for the Atlanta Falcons. And I think Eagles put up 28. Obviously, you lose AJ. It's a tough loss, but Jalen Hurts puts the squad on the back, baby, and he marches this team to victory. Eagles are going to be 2-0, baby, going into week 3.
Okay, we'll see what happens tonight. We'll see if they round it up tonight without AJ. Hey, I want to see what he does without AJ Brown. Let's see what he does.
Yeah, look, you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but we have.
Dude, if he loses that game, you're gonna think like, oh God, I'm going to come down on him like a bolt of lightning.
Big Sills, we'll be here for it because, look, we're in this thing together whether you guys like it or not. Jalen Hurts needs to take this team to the promised land. So the pressure's on, and I don't think we have high expectations for the guy. I think that's a good thing.
It is.
We want to be great. We're a team that is competing with the top of the league.
You're talking championship.
Exactly. We're not talking about, let's hope we can make the playoffs this year. We're trying to be great. We're trying to win Super Bowls. We're that type of team. It's a beautiful time to be an Eagles fan. This team is in good hands. Jalen Hurts will answer the Sileo calls.
Yeah.
And he will be the elite player we need him to be tonight.
Baker Mayfield has outplayed him in 20 games.
Baker Mayfield's good, so I'm not going to slander Baker Mayfield.
I
but
can't
stop.
believe that he's turned his career around like that.
Yeah,
And get
Baker looks good, man.
Wait a minute. Look, fired from Cleveland, fired from Carolina, moved on from the Rams. This is 14 in 4 years, dude. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, look, take the Carolina
Look,
one and throw it
they're
in.
not taking the Bucs to the NFC title game or anything. But I mean,
no, but that's a team that's I think is going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, dude. Awesome stuff. We'll catch you on the pregame show and then also on the postgame show. And don't forget Birds 365 in the morning. Please hit the like button. Zander, thanks a lot, my buddy.
Appreciate everybody. Thank you all in the chat. We're up to 260 likes. Thank you guys. You guys are the best fans on YouTube. Appreciate each and every one of you. Best viewers, best Eagles fans in the world. So thank you guys. Sills, see you tonight on the pregame show, brother.
You got it. Well, not all of you are great. I mean, like Princess and, some of you other guys in there who think you are, but you're not, like BJ or LJ, whatever he is. I forget what his handle is. Hit the like button. Nick Sirianni, also week 2 of the NFL. Hit that like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.